Hey everybody, welcome back to Champ and Sons and our Let's Play Planet Zoo series that we have going on as we are back in the Austin Zoo redo, as I like to say. This is going to be, for those of you who have not seen the last episode, we are redoing the Austin Zoo project that we started um, previously. Just I didn't like how that one was going, so we're restarting it now. I go a little bit more into that in the previous episode, so I would recommend definitely giving that one a watch. Um, but we're gonna go ahead and kind of jump into, well, I guess you could say more or less what you're saying or what you're seeing. This habitat right here for these, oh my goodness, I can't remember their names. I really don't. I'm trying, and it feels like it should be on the tip of my tongue, but it's not. Those were built after the intro episode. That habitat's not anything special, really. It's just an entry walkthrough habitat by the Education Center. Um, so, yeah, I didn't include that, any of that footage. I'm mainly going to be sticking with, I would definitely say, the main exhibits. And so that may happen more on down the road. It kind of depends, but we'll see how it goes, basically. So what is happening right now? You may be asking yourself. I don't know. I would be asking myself that. And I played this thing, and I'm already asking myself that. Um, really, this is basically going to be my divider between two bear habitats. Y'all saw them earlier. At the start of this episode, the clips. We are adding a grizzly bear and a black bear. Um, as well into the episode or into the zoo. Now, if you did see the first go at the Austin Zoo project, you'll probably think, well, you did bears the first time for your first big exhibit last time, also. What's so different this time? Well, I think this habitat and everything else about it looks just that much better. Um, it just seems more cohesive. And so that's kind of what we're going with here. Now, like I said, this is going to be the separator between the two. You'll see that as we get into the actual habitats. But this is just a little grill and essentially a look over viewpoint. So here in a little bit, we are going to start putting in some uh, not regular benches, but like the picnic table type benches and stuff like that. So that way people can come up, get a bite to eat, get a drink, buy a souvenir, go to the bathroom, and stop off and check out the bears from a little bit higher than what you get whenever you're down below, and it just offers that different viewpoint. So that's really what I'm going with on this, to give the guests multiple shots of what the habitats look like in the bears, from high above, ground level, and so on. So we're going to kind of get into the habitats here in just a minute after we finish getting this, essentially grill is what I call it. I want to actually name it the Bear Grills. Makes myself chuckle every time I hear it. Um, yeah, I actually just make myself laugh about it. Still thinking about it. Um, oh man, I lost my train of thought completely. Oh well. So, as I was kind of saying, this little section is just mapping out how I want these habitats to look. Last time in the zoo, when we started out with the bear habitats, a part of it just felt way too. I, I mean, fake is obviously the best word for it, right? Um, yeah, it just didn't feel all that right to me, at least. And a lot of it had to do with the rock work and the walls around it because, I mean, as much as zoos today even try to make these things look as natural, they have these types of barriers in there. I mean, it's just the way it is. um, and that was really my thought going into it, as you'll see me get into it here in a minute, as far as essentially decorating the outside of it. The rocks, yeah, it does look something like it obviously would be fake. And as we get into the zoo and I'm making changes or more details as far as the background sites and all that, uh, I think I'll be able to cover that up. But I actually end up pretty happy with how it does turn out, which isn't normally how it goes for me, at least. And some of the detail work and getting these habitats dressed up, because a part of it is hard to go, well, that's fake. It looks obviously fake. How do I change that? But I've kind of accepted it, at least mentally, as I've been building these habitats. That yeah, it's going to look fake. It is man-made. All right, we didn't just carve a zoo out of this mountainside and blow everything away except for these habitats. Obviously, it does look fake. It is essentially fake, even in a real zoo. And that I do feel a lot better, at least thinking about it like that. I do feel a lot better with how these habitats ended up looking. A lot of what you see right now in the entrance plaza, the path covers and all that, by the end of the episode and some of the shots you'll see, that has completely changed. The pathing layout in this section, you kind of saw me trying to connect all of those over, that actually changes as well. And I don't think that is caught completely on camera. It probably isn't, but it will be in the shots at the end of the episode of kind of where the zoo stands now. So definitely pay attention, check those out, see how it's actually looking at this time. And I keep those things in there as far as, even though knowing things have changed, I always like keeping it in there, because that's one part of this game is basically having to make changes, make adjustments, go back and completely tear buildings down, tear up pathways, all of that, and rework some of this stuff. That's part of this game. It's one of the things that is enjoyable about it. So don't be shocked if I, say things down the road in future episodes. Well, this has actually changed. This has been ripped out. This is no longer there. And that's just going to happen from time to time. So. All right, well, I am going to let y'all get into some tunes right now as these habitats get built, and then I will catch up with y'all a little bit later in the episode. Hey everybody, I am back with you here as we are finishing up some of uh I guess the surrounding work to the habitat. Um with that planter right there. And just taking a look. I love watching these bears swim. I don't know. There's just something so pleasing about it. Uh, and now, I got the grizzly bear habitat pretty well dressed up to, at least to my liking, something that I think would be semi believable in a zoo. Um, that's obviously not the gigantic, most gigantic budget in the world, but it's decent. So the black bears, however, are, I don't want to say more difficult because they're really not. The only thing with them is, the climbable area that we have to put in. Man, for some reason, some people are great at building those things. I'm not one of them. I'm sitting there looking at what the game provides you, at least in there, just to be like, okay, maybe get some inspiration from it. Let me see if I can't, come up with my own design, but use that type of thing as a starting point, right? Um, and man, they are climbable, obviously. I do realize some of them, like those, the thinner log, essentially bridge things, needed to be the thicker ones. So yeah, and I think that still looks good now. Just the dressing up of it. One, I do have animal welfare down at 0, so if I put in a plant that doesn't belong there, the animal's not going to freak out, right? Uh, so I like dressing up the plants. I've gotten a little bit more comfortable with sinking the trees down. I've been playing Planet Zoo. I got about a month after it came out Planet Coaster for years. But just recently did I ever get comfortable with putting a tree into the ground. I don't know why. Couldn't tell you. Other people do it, and their stuff looks great, way better than what I could produce. But I just got comfortable with it. So, I did try to make sure to keep vegetation out of the viewpoints of the guest. I do add in obviously the education stuff to try to get people to come around um, everything. So what I'm doing right here is on the other section we have the pathway that allows them to go see the side view, right? Uh, this one I did that, but I wanted it to be more of a cave type of setup, I guess, and so that was really the inspiration behind making it this way. Basically, was just wanting it to be kind of a cave to walk through. How cool would that be? You see the bear's life in its habitat, basically in the same type of way a bear would, coming out of a den, looking through a den into um, here into the habitat. If it's out in the wild, it's looking out of their den, facing into the forest to go get something. So that's kind of really what I was thinking with this. I do actually like how it turned out. Once again, it's one of those I understand it's fake type of situations. I probably could have put a wall up on the inside instead of having it just be those rocks. But to be honest with you, those rocks are fake enough, and I put them in a way that makes them look fake enough that I think you could see that and be like, oh, that's supposed to be a wall. And I get what they're trying to do. Can't fault them on the effort, is what someone would say. All right, so here we are. This pathway, man, I really ended up going with something more simple in the end. So not so much what you're seeing here. Like I said before, it's going to change. That includes this pathway. In the end, it is something way more simple um, versus all this. One, this would require a ton of path covers, random planters, and all that. And I'm just not a fan of the randomness, to be honest with you. So that's kind of where that pathwork is going. And here, I'm really wanting to check the views. One, because I needed to do it. Two, um, I also, I got bored doing the pathway, knowing what I was about to get into, so just really wanted to do something a little bit different. Um, and so that's one of those things that, man, I had to cut off of that. Let me go look at these viewpoints of the bears. Let me check them out, make sure everything that's still good to go. I do like that little circular type of shading thing that I do have down by those grizzlies. So I did look to moving them out and putting them kind of in this pathway section. It really just did not look all that good, to be honest with you, having it like that. Um, so as you can see, they're not there anymore. I did remove them. Here I'm just fixing up, one of the planters. It's going to kind of add a little bit of a separation. I'm not going to say transition. I just think, honestly, they look better. And if I ran a zoo, I would want lots of flower work around. I mean, you want to have those planters. It makes things look aesthetically nice. They really do. So that's why I put one here. That's why you're going to see these types of things throughout the zoo coming up. But I just liked how that one went. Once again, here I am still dressing up this area. Like I said, it's going to be completely changed. We reworked the paths totally, and also I build little information booths. You'll kind of see them. Might give a better glimpse of them in the next episode, but you'll see these information booths come through and everything like that. So definitely continue to watch. We will have some of the I would guess more live action type shots coming up at the end of this episode, which will be in about a few minutes. And so I would definitely stay tuned for that. You'll see what all the changes that we have made. I was going to be doing kind of these textured paths, really, and covered, but it just, the size of it was ridiculous. I felt completely wrong after doing it, taking a look at the size of this stuff. So it just wasn't one of those things that I could sit there and look at and say I enjoyed. And I wasn't going to do that with this version of the zoo like I did with the last one. So yeah, everything you're seeing right now is completely changed. That's why I definitely say stay tuned for those, real time shots. And I will see y'all in the next episode. Go ahead and do me a favor though. Hit the subscribe button if you have not hit it already. And definitely, if you do like today's video, give us a thumbs up because we greatly appreciate it and it really does help out the channel. And here we are getting into some more of those live type of views, walking around what the zoo currently looks like. And let me know, what animal do you think should go next? I'm not wanting it to be a major prime time viewer spot. It is going to be by that planter we worked on. Not right directly next to the bears, but kind of around the back where the path kind of curves off. So put down in the comments what animal you think we should put in there, and we'll see if we can go ahead and get that one done. Other than that, thank you very much for joining me in this episode and for any support that all of y'all have provided for our channel. Once again, thank y'all very much for that. And so I will see y'all in the next episode. So as always, everybody, stay safe and later.